Jelle Gaines has the gold.
World champion is Jelle Gaines.
All righty, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the All In Triathlon podcast. We are 3 in 1 week. I remember when we did this last year, Jelle, we were fatigued. We had podcast fatigued. We are now experienced. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rumble. I'm ready to make it one every day for the next week if we have to.
Okay, you better find another co-host then.
What about our Kona Daily Pods?
We're not microwave boys, Aaron, are we? That's what you wanted me to reply, no?
Well, yeah, you could have done that. But anyway, we are going rogue today because Jelle deleted our Google document account that has all of our run sheet our ideas that we talk about. Can't seem to find it anywhere. I knew it was a bad idea that we went to Google shared docs. We should have just stuck with the Apple Notes.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I googled in to find the solution, and my Google was my friend deleted our shared Google Doc. How do we retrieve it? And it said your friend needs to do this. But yeah, it doesn't seem to work.
So this is the computer engineer Jelle, and basically his solution was check the rubbish bin, check the junk mail, check the junk box. That's basically what you came to.
Good idea, no? Wasn't there, but might have been.
So anyway, yes, we have lost our Google Shared Docs. I have no idea how both of us have lost it.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Do you think it has
either.
something to do with your comments about America and Iran?
It was not either of us deleting. It was Donald Trump deleting our Google Docs.
Or Kurth? No, Keith. No, it's not Kurth. Our friend, our American friend,
Kurth.
Parker.
Yeah,
maybe he has something to do
Mr.
with
40
it.
hours.
40 hours, and we just realized he's got a son as well. So I don't know how on earth he.
What? Oh, I was completely wrong. I thought the guy on the photo was him. I thought he was a kid.
No, I think that's him.
Wait, and he has a kid.
And he has a kid. Okay, explain, Jelle.
Yeah, so we got tagged to one of our listeners. Probably not on there anymore, is it? On All In Triathlon. No, it's not, so that's annoying. But basically, he did a selfie, I think, with a new All In...
well, I can see it because he did message us, so I'm going to hold it up to the screen.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, it's gone. Yeah, there. So I thought this is what his dad told him. Those are cool. Those are really good. Cool, said his dad.
Those are really cool, said dad.
But anyway, he bought like Effortless swimming goggles with our discount code, All In Triathlon 15 for 15% off. And he's put a story up, and so we're not sure if like he's a 17-year-old with a kid, or he looks 17 but is actually 30 and has a kid, or he's just a kid and his dad liked the goggles.
I think we've completely lost our listeners. They have no idea what is going on. Basically, we just don't know whether one of our listeners that does 40 hours of training in a week is the photo of him or of his son. But either way, I don't know how we got onto that. Something about Iran and the US. Let's move on. How are you feeling after Geelong?
Yeah, I feel all right. Legs are starting to be less sore. But we're good to go. Last easy day, and tomorrow we're back into it. Got an Ironman to prepare.
But you're doing a hard swim today, right?
Yes, but I'll see how I feel. I will come and swim with you guys. It's threshold, right, today, so it's not super hard, maybe.
It depends who writes the session. Whose week it is to write the session.
True.
Sometimes when it's nons,
I think non's week, it will be hard. If it's Daniel, it's pussy set.
It's not pussy set, but yeah, it is.
That's what you told me last time.
No, I didn't say that. You're lying. So Geelong, I mean, we spoke about it in the last podcast. Anyone that is interested, go back and listen to that one. It was actually quite a good in-depth race analysis of just your race, basically. Was there anything we left out on reflection or things that you've thought about since? You maybe don't remember because it was only a couple of hours after the race, but has there been some things that come to light since and some reflection points speaking with Ben?
Not really, to be honest. Like, I think, yeah, what I think I need to be careful for, especially in Texas, it's probably even gonna be harder to do this. Is like, don't creep into the red, because then you have to overtake and it takes a lot out of you. Those like surges, like in Geelong, like overtaking Hayden while he's trying to drop Christian and other people. So it's like not like it takes a lot out of you. It costs a lot of energy. So like, yeah, be safe in Texas. Like I think in Ironman you really don't want to have to do that. So I think that's a big thing. Like, yeah, don't like try to stay in the blue and then by accident come in the red on Race Ranger and having to overtake, but like be safe and just stay in the orange. Because those overtakes, I think, especially on Ironman, will like really take it out of you.
Yeah, I think as well that's something that Christian does fairly well. Like some people think he might be getting dropped, and he did in the end get dropped, but typically the way he races is he just stays well outside the zone and just seems like he just like rides a bit more steady state, and we know that in even when we did short course racing, right, it's the punchy efforts, which there are a lot more of in short course, obviously by the nature of the courses and just shorter racing, but like those are the ones that really take away from your run legs. So I think, yeah, it makes sense, right? Like if you can, especially in an Ironman, if you can limit those spikes, you'll go a long way. It's just it's triathlon, right? It's you have a box full of matches at the start, and every overtake and every sort of uncalculated effort is a match used that you shouldn't or don't need to. Like obviously you have to use them at some point, but you want to use them in the right way, not just because you've made a mistake and gone into the draft zone.
Yeah, I think especially in Ironman, like you want to have save as much as energy as possible. So you don't fall short of energy towards the last part of the run. But it is indeed something that Christian is really good at. Like he doesn't ride at 20 meters; he probably rides at 30 meters. And I feel like that's what he also did in Marbella. Like he wasn't riding 12 meters, but he was riding 20 meters. And it sometimes looks like he's about to get dropped and pop, but it's just like, yeah, this 20 meters can sometimes go 50, but then he goes back to 20, but he never has to do like any of these overtakes if he doesn't want to this way. So he rides a lot more equal. But yeah, then I think here in Geelong, like by doing this, like riding 30 meters instead of 20 meters, it went to like 50 meters or 100 meters and he couldn't close it anymore. And that's why he got dropped, I reckon. But yeah, it's another strategy.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. But obviously, you would have had a debrief with Ben. What other things? Anything else pop up?
Not really. No. Yeah, it's a bit
on
sad
track.
that
You're happy with everything. How everything's. I guess on the end of it, you guys were happy. You're on track. Things went well. Of course, you would have liked to have won, but beaten by a better man on the day, and but happy with where things are at.
Yeah, definitely. And I think we both said like after the race and even leading into the race, like that I'm probably in better shape than we thought I would be a month ago. That like these last couple of weeks before Geelong, like my fitness really went up quite significant, I feel like. So yeah, I think that's also a good sign with like Texas in like, well, now it's 3.5 weeks, even a bit less. So that the shape is like in an upward trend. I think that's a good one, because like a month ago I got like there a little bit sick. I had like a week in there where I probably trained like 12 hours. Because it was a combination of I had some easier days in the beginning of the week, and then I got sick just when I was gonna start training again. So the whole week was an off week, and then you never feel really great after that. So then it took me a week to really feel alright again. So looking at that, like I'm quite happy with how the shape was and how I raced. And yeah, I biked like I actually looked at this yesterday. I was on a turbo, like spinning my legs, and
I was going to say,
Strava.
wait, before you say that, because I think I know where you're going with this. How was the debrief with your other coach, ChatGPT?
Well, this was Google AI. It's different than ChatGPT, right?
I
But yeah,
noticed
so
you changed. I know you were a ChatGPT guy, but I noticed.
No, I just typed it in Google for some reason instead of ChatGPT. But yeah, so I was on my bike yesterday on the turbo, and I looked up. Well, I was looking at my Strava file, and it has like a segment of the whole race, which I now holds the KOM, because Hayden doesn't upload his file on Strava, it seems. So I had this year I had 157.04, I think. And if I look last year, I had 159.54 or 53. No. Yeah, something like this. Like I had almost 3 minutes quicker this year, like 2 minutes 50, I think. I had this quicker. So then I know what watts I pushed last year. So then I asked Google AI, like, yeah, if I wrote 54 k's an hour average over 90k with 296 watts, that's what I had last year, what watts would I have been had to push going 46 k's an hour, because it was exactly a k an hour quicker, over the same course, 90k, and it told me 316. So I put that in Training Peaks as my power for the race, 316.
And but that's probably because like you will know in your own feelings more than obviously ChatGPT will. Do you think that's about right, based on some other efforts and races that you've done in similar sort of watts?
I'd say so. I mean, I would say between maybe 310 and 320. Like there's some differences, of course. Like this year it was 20 meters, last year it was 12. But I did do quite a bit of aero testing since that race last year. I have a different bike. Like then I was still on the old Ridley, now I'm on the new one, different position.
New
So yeah,
tri-suit.
new tri-suit, like quite a bit's changed as well. So it's like still very much guessing. But it's a bit of a calculated Google AI guess, I think.
Well, backed up with your feelings, you're probably not too far off. But I think the actual overall, like whilst that's important and it's interesting to know, I think some of the things that are really valuable are those maybe less so 1 minute, but I think they are still quite important. But it's like the 5, the 20, especially. I think a 20-minute is quite important. And then obviously the hour. I think you learn or you understand a lot more of the ride with those three, probably your 5, 20 and your hour power than you do the overall. I think that gives you a better understanding, obviously with a bigger picture of what the overall was. But, you know, like a 300 watts average for 90k could be a lot harder than a 320, maybe not a lot, but or say like a 310, 315 for 90k if the 5, 10, 20 were really high. Like
Yeah, I
those,
guess so.
because sometimes like, those are the ones that will send you into the red, I think.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, for sure.
At least for
And
me, that's how I found it.
it would have been interesting, like, to see that last 20, 25 minutes when Hayden rode away, to see if I like really slowed down significantly or not, and what that was. But yeah, didn't have the power.
Well, yeah, I guess you need to figure out, because that's the second time now that. Oh no, the first time was because of the crash. Oh, you lost your.
Yeah. I lost my head unit, but yeah. So I have these like Wahoo power pedals that I actually haven't used the whole year. But normally I was gonna get a SRAM 58 or 60 with power meter, what I normally ride, like the Quark power meter on the SRAM chain rings. But that's on my new bike, which I was hoping to have in time for Geelong, and it was ready, but it was gonna be too hard to send it to Australia from Belgium, especially with everything what's going on now in the Middle East, which is a hub for sending this stuff. so in the end, I didn't have it. So then last minute, I had to go back to the Wahoo pedals. And I already noticed the days before, like my power was like really jumping quite a bit. Like if I would do a lap, like it would go like 330 to 300, back to 330, like the average. So not like 3 second average, but like literally the average of the whole thing. So it was a bit weird. And then, I just didn't connect. And then also the bike was too hard to try and like fiddle with my head unit to try and search for it again. And I was like, I'm just gonna, in the end, I just wanted to follow Hayden anyway in the bike. So don't need power for that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting afterwards.
For
I don't
sure.
care too much during, but yeah.
It's good for the good for the analysis afterwards, isn't it? But is what it is. You it's all about the result anyway at the end of the day. So that's the only one that really matters. And just quickly, you sort of touched on it, legs a little bit sore, but recovery's been fine.
Yeah, definitely. Didn't do much the first 2 days because I traveled to Adelaide to go to the wind tunnel there, and then traveled home. Yesterday did like just a run and a bike, and then today just the swim and gym, my normal Thursday, and then tomorrow we'll start back doing some proper sessions. I have like this and next week planned, and there's some fun little bike and fun not so little bike and runs in there.
Ironman training, I guess.
Yep.
Before we get on to the wind tunnel, because I do have some questions about that. Some exciting news with Precision Fuel and Hydration.
Yeah, that's cool. No, I really liked. They're so good at their like announcements, aren't they? But yeah, so they're the title sponsor, like how they were in Marbella. They were the Precision Fuel and Hydration's Ironman 17.3 World Championships Marbella, which now they will be for the next 3 years, I think it is, so 2026, 27, 28. So that's cool, yeah. And they made me a Mario Kart character in their announcement of it, which was cool.
It's quite a cool video, wasn't it? And then
they do that so well.
Yeah, they've got Christian behind you running as well.
Yeah, indeed.
Which was cool. But that was cool. I think, well, you would use that your Precision Fuel and Hydration anyway, even if they weren't the title sponsor. But it's pretty cool that they are there and they support you quite well when they are there, look after you.
It was really cool last year in Marbella with them there, and also you could see that in the video as well that they made. Like I finished and there's the two CEOs of Precision are holding the tape. So that was really cool, but it's nice.
Yeah. They're obviously, we know they are the hydration sponsor for all Ironman races, but to be the naming rights sponsor, they put on some really good activation last year that I could see in Marbella. So kudos to Precision Fuel and Hydration for that. Yep.
One thing about that, actually, I got the question from someone, because last podcast we talked about my nutrition, and he's like, didn't you use any sodium on the bike or the run? So I guess I forgot to tell that.
I thought you did say that. I did do
2,000 milligrams of sodium as well.
Yeah, you said you put in. Yeah, you put 1,000
milligrams.
I think I
said it before the race, but I didn't say what I did after. Maybe.
Okay.
So I did have 2,000 milligrams of these sodium capsules that I open up and empty in my bottle. 1,000 per bottle.
Yeah. Well, if you would also like 1,000 milligrams of sodium per bottle, or just in general any nutrition, head to Precision Fuel and Hydration website and use the code ALLINTRIATHLON for 15% off your first order. All right, tell me about the wind tunnel.
Yeah, it was interesting. It's a cool wind tunnel, isn't it? It's huge. You went there last week. It's really big. Like Ridley's wind tunnel is definitely a bit smaller, but here because they do it for not just biking, like they said, they also have bobsleighs and skeleton people and wheelchair people testing. It was really cool.
Did you sign the wall?
Sorry?
Did you
They
sign the wall?
didn't ask me to sign the wall, no. I was a bit sad about that. I saw your name and
ouch.
Sam's name and then Jay Vine and Luke Plapp, and I wasn't able to sign it. They only want Aussie guys, I reckon.
Well, they don't know that you're part Aussie, I guess.
Yeah, indeed, maybe not. But I you really went there to do positional changes, where I went there to test my suits, my Mauna suits, which now we can confirm they're quick, which is nice. And then I tested bottle placement and like the Ridley bike. They're coming out with some like a bento box and like this frame bottle for like how do you call it, a triangle inside the frame. Tested those things as well. Yeah, and then really just because I'm doing an Ironman, so I need a lot more nutrition. It's like, where's the best place to put it? So yeah, it was interesting. But test actually also size of bottles. See if like a particular size of bottle is better than another. Yeah, was good.
Was it like because I often find when I've gone to the wind tunnel, you almost sometimes like, and I think you had a pretty set out protocol. And if you don't, I mean, you have always plans that you want to do, but sometimes you sort of start verging off a different direction based on some stuff that you see. Did you ever find yourself going down a rabbit hole?
No, because we really had a set plan. Like, yeah, we use like a program that like actually my dad developed it over the last like half a year, where you wouldn't. So what often happens, like I think you do you like if you do positional changes, like you would change something and then you look at it and then go from there, like do the next one. Where our idea is more to beforehand, like set like a lot of parameters already. With like you often test like for example, you test the stack height of your extensions. Like you would test minimum, in between, and maximum. And then if you use statistics, like because it's all correlated, like it will give you like the exact position that will be quickest. Like it can also be in between that. And also if you do where you do, for example, you go higher and then you go further, but you don't really have the like the relationship between these. So it's also possible that like by going higher, by going longer, also the height might have needed to change. So with this program, like you basically can see all of this, and you don't have to do every single test, but like it's way too hard to explain them. It's like you work with like matrices, but yeah. So no, we didn't do this because with the amount of tests we wanted to do, like we basically kind of knew everything. It was hard though with this because yeah, like putting a 750 ml bottle or a 1 liter bottle, it really doesn't do that much. So often it's like hard to see like if something is actually quicker or is it just within like the error margin of the test, you know. Which actually was really cool at this wind tunnel as well. Like they have photos of like every single test you do, and like so you can see like, oh, maybe my head is different in this, and that's why it's like maybe a bit quicker or slower.
But don't you find almost whenever you're doing aero testing, there's never, or very often there isn't, especially when you're at your level now where you're already pretty well dialed in, there's never really one big standout change. It's always just a bunch of this. So this is what I've always wondered and thought is like, oh yep, that was 3 watts faster. Like, okay, but was that error measurement? But you know,
yeah.
But you do 5 of them, and then at the end of the test you go, oh, I found 15 watts. But it's like, oh well, but was it 5 error measurement, like within error measurement? So I don't know, but yeah, I guess you've just got to, if they're all trending in the positive range of 3 watts, for example, I guess overall, maybe
Yeah,
it's not exactly
kinda.
15 watts, but it might be 10.
Well, I guess you so this program we use like also calculates your like significance, like your error margin basically, and I think for us it was like 2 watts.
Yeah.
But yeah, then indeed, like with some stuff, like if it's 2 watts quicker, then actually you can't really say much.
Did your dad go with you?
Yeah. We went both, and it was actually good because we really planned everything really well. Like you can get a lot done. Like we did 25 runs
Oh, really?
in 4 hours. Yeah,
In 4 hours?
yeah.
Oh, wow. Did you
But
have the engineers there? Were they just so for you that did they just press start, press stop, record, and that's
yes,
it? They didn't,
yeah,
and then everything else was you.
yeah, yeah. It's
I guess
cheaper.
they set your bike up for you.
Yeah. Indeed. Yeah, yeah. And the guy actually was really nice. Like I emailed him still after and stuff.
Yeah.
It was
John?
like John. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
He's
was good. It was fun. It was a good experience. But yeah,
What?
now it's also having to be able to adapt that to my bike. Like I would like to try and race with an aero bottle in between my, like my normal bottle in between my arms, but then aero bottle at the bottom.
Mm.
But now I have to like install it, and it needs to be within the IRONMAN rules and stuff, which is not so easy. But yeah, anyways, it was good.
Well,
It's the thing is like all my things was within 0.06 CDA.
mm-hmm.
So it's like, yeah, it's quite close, everything together.
Yeah.
But that's actually also good because then you have a lot of freedom on what you want to do because it's all quite similar anyway.
Yeah. You're not throwing away watts if you want to use a liter bottle, and then you got more nutrition with you, and not
Yeah,
have to rely on picking stuff up midway through, right?
indeed.
So,
Yeah.
well, give a shout out to Rudy Geens for
Yeah,
developing that.
thanks for coming.
What's his
along.
background? Because obviously people are going to be questioning, God, how does he know how to do this?
My dad has a PhD in physics. He's a very smart guy, and also has like, what would it be, 40 years of experience now working in R&D. He used to work Lightning, but yeah, so he works a lot with, and actually the thing he's really good at is like statistics and stuff, which this basically is. So yeah, it was cool. It was interesting.
He's basically retired now, isn't he? Just a consultant.
Yeah.
So maybe
this
he can
was a
start
side
consulting.
project.
If there's people out there that want to use Rudy Geens,
Aerodynamics engineering.
Yep. What's his rate? We'll just go halves with him as the promotion.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to talk.
We'll
with him.
We'll come back to that. We'll slide into the AIT DMs, and we'll get back to you. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Found some free speed at least, or at least didn't lose speed and add on some
some
add
on bottles
and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff.
it was also good to see that like I tested my new Mauna suits compared to my suit from last year, and it was almost the same, maybe a little bit quicker than Hoop 1, which is also really nice because we put quite a bit of effort in. Like they made me 3 prototype suits, which I then tested now, and they were all 3 very quick, so that's good.
Yeah, you said when you got the one on the right size, right? Because I think you firstly tested with a little bit too big. Once you got it to your size, it was faster, which is always nice to know.
Yeah.
Just that's like that's completely free speed. You don't have to do anything for that. Just you have to wear it. So when you know it's faster, that's always good.
Yeah. Shall we now talk about your work weekend last week?
Well, which one? Last week I was in Devonport. I was coach. Oh, sorry. Yes.
Last weekend.
Yeah. Last
T100
weekend.
Gold Coast commentator.
T100.
Guy on course.
Should we talk about the race first?
The race, yeah, okay. Taylor Nip won. Was a good battle with Jess Fulliger. She actually was really good, wasn't she? She looked so good on this bike. Because it wasn't her bike, right?
No,
Lucy's bike? Lucy's Byron?
Lucy Byron's bike. I guess they're fairly similar height. And, Lucy has spent a lot of time optimizing her position and her equipment and everything that goes with that. So basically for Jess, I think she didn't have to change too much. I think she's changed the saddle height a little bit, but basically after that just slotted straight in on the bike. You know, I was kind of being a little bit facetious or joking in the days leading in, whenever we do the media briefings or the broadcast briefings, and their biggest worry is that when a race becomes too much of a one-person show,
horse.
i.e.
Yeah.
the Taylor Nib show. And so they're trying to say, look, if it becomes this, we have to try and make it exciting some other ways. Like, what does this mean for Taylor, off the back of not a great year, dramatize things a little bit. And I just kept saying, guys, it's going to be the Jess Fulliger show. It's going to be the Jess Fulliger show. And I don't think Belinda believed me. She didn't believe, same as I didn't necessarily believe it was going to be the Jess Fulliger show. I was more just saying she's going to give her a run for her money, which in the end she did. And I guess the first 40K on the bike, maybe it was almost the Jess Fulliger show. But you could kind of see eventually that Taylor was clawing her way back in. And then by, I would say, 50K, she maybe passed Jess and just got away and got about a minute onto her off the bike. And then, initially at the start of the run, I don't know whether you were watching the actual race, Jelle, but Jess started to close on Taylor for the first maybe
Yeah. I saw
6K,
that.
5-6K, something like that. It didn't look like it, as obviously it's still early on, so people may pick it up or slow it down, but the rate at which she was catching didn't look like she was actually going to catch it by the end.
Yeah.
But it made a race of it, I thought.
Yeah, definitely. It was probably more exciting than a lot of people thought at the start of the race. It helped that Taylor didn't have a great swim in the rough ocean. That looked crazy. That swim, Phil Clayton would have rubbed his hands, loving it, frothing over it. But no, that was cool.
And also we mentioned Imogen Simmers off the back of what was a tough year for her last year, getting onto the podium, which was she had a solid race all day.
Yeah,
really.
she actually had a really good swim, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she was second out, maybe.
Yeah.
And then solid on the bike, as she normally is, quite solid, and then just finished it off with a solid run. But
fourth, Nicole van der Kijk, coached by Ben.
Also, a really good race. And what didn't get seen on the coverage, which I saw, as she jumped on her bike, she knocked off her nutrition bottles at the back. I think the whole thing fell off. And she actually she stopped because it was all of her. One of the bottles was all of her nutrition. I ended up speaking to her after the race, but she had nowhere to put it. So then she was like, "Oh shit, what was it?" And she went to put it down a top, and then I think realized, "Oh no, I can't do that." So she just ripped out one of the water. What I'm assuming wasn't nutrition. Yeah, just threw that to the side and put that in. And then because of that, she actually lost the group that she would have been with. So she would have been up with around that Imogen place. And eventually she rode through a lot of them. But she was obviously over the moon, but not over the moon. She was really happy when I saw her at the finish, but also just a bit fourth place and that sort of happened.
That stuff happened.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. But
and then your experience. Enough about the race. The real thing. How was it?
It was okay. So obviously, we spoke about the swim initially. So just on that, I don't know, before we talk about the actual commentary side of things, it wasn't, so it's hard to, the camera never gives it justice, I don't think. And not obviously, but I couldn't see the swim. So the only way that I could watch it, I could see it down on the beach, but I don't know what it looked like on TV. Yeah. Because then I went up to the road to watch it on the big screen the rest of the race, but I was down in person watching the swim. Even for you now, I guess you're a bit more experienced. For you, it would have been completely fine. The waves weren't that big. It's a little bit messy, and there was some currents, and there's that. You know how normally the Gold Coast beaches have a big south to north sweep. Yeah. So it runs across, especially at the front there, but as we get in okay. Well, remember how when we start with Phil, we always start all the way down at the south end. Yeah. By the time we get out at the back, we're all the way up north. That's because
not all the way up. Swim that way.
Well, no, but like he'll say, "Meet me out the back of the breakers." But we start all the way down near the pavilion, and then when we meet
true.
near the breakers, we're swept like 50 meters down.
Yeah.
There was that, but in terms of the waves, it wasn't huge. But that's why I think we thought initially early on that there would be bigger gaps, because we thought that the experienced people would be fine. They'll eat it up. They'll swim almost normal. They'll get away. But then those that are a bit less experienced in it would actually struggle. In the end, there was a bit of time gaps, but most of the field came out, most of the players at least came out within a minute. So I don't think, as much as it was what probably everyone said it was good and it was nice to have that, I don't think it played as big a role as it potentially could have. Like, so right now, the surf is huge. I don't know if you've seen.
Yeah, it's crazy apparently at the moment. When beaches closed, actually, as well, for swimmers?
Yeah, probably. I mean,
But
Burley was open yesterday.
Yeah. They have the surf life saving, is it Aussie Champs happening now? And I had the guy Trent who I have massages from. He said like that was crazy for like the under 19 to do one of the events. Like they literally didn't make the buoy because of the current.
And this is surf Ironman people that train in the surf every single
used
day.
To it, grew up from it, every day in it. They couldn't make the buoy. And probably this is where I'd go. I understand if they had to cancel the swim, if the conditions were the same as this that
weekend
day.
as last weekend.
But now definitely it was not like this is a normal day probably in
this was
in
as
surface.
This was as little as it could be.
Yeah,
it doesn't get any littler than that.
Yeah.
It was messy, like I said. It was just messy. The waves were crashing a bit. It wasn't smooth sort of water. But yeah, no, the commentary was interesting. So obviously with a lot of live sports now, they are trying to do a lot of things remote.
Yeah.
So in terms of, instead, as you could imagine, flying a whole production crew around the world 10 times a year is freaking expensive.
Yeah.
So it's not new to triathlon. It's certainly been done for a long time, where they have a hub where a lot of people are. So I don't know where they're based, but based not on ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of there completely on my own, and
just a cameraman following you, no?
Pretty much just a cameraman following me, and I just, we've had a debrief, and I've fed back some information. That I was kind of like, what the fuck am I meant to be doing? I wasn't told. I was told the night before that that I need to go and find people to interview, which, as you would remember, normally Jane Hansen does that a couple of days before.
Yeah,
she
text
tees
us,
up
like, do you have family here? What's their number? Like, are they willing to be on it?
Yeah, and then she tees up, okay, at lap 2, can you come down to transition to do an interview, blah, blah, blah. And that's done in the days leading up, right? I found out at 8 p.m. the night before I need to do that. I'm like, well, I'm not going to bother the athletes now. It's literally 8 p.m. the night before the race. I'm not bothering the athletes now. So I had to go with the tact that I would just roam around transition area to try and find people. But because it was actually quite busy, as you would know, Surfers Paradise is a really just popular spot anyway.
Yeah.
And then add in the T100, there was a lot of people just around that transition area. So a lot of the support staff and coaches, they moved like hundreds of meters down. So I went and walked and I found some people, but I also didn't know, because I wasn't told. But so I have an earpiece in that I can talk to the director, and I've got a microphone, obviously. But if I'm not near a camera, they can't hear me.
Yeah.
And the cameras are stationed. They're pretty much, they can walk a little bit, but they're pretty much stationed right in transition area. But I didn't know that. So I'm like 500 meters down. I'm like, cool, guys. I've found Kate Wolf's here and she's willing to have a chat. And I'm like, don't hear anything back. I'm like, okay. And they're normally, as you could imagine, the director's talking to a lot of different people. He's talking to the cameraman. He's talking to the commentators. He's talking to the people that send him to breaks, all this sort of stuff. So it's not uncommon for them to not get back to you unless it's an urgent question, or get back to you straight away. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, no, maybe they don't want to speak to Kate. No worries. Didn't hear anything. And then after about 30 minutes, I'm like, I haven't heard anything from anyone. I walked back to the camera, and that's when they told me, they're like, oh, well, you need to be near a camera for us to hear. I'm like, okay, cool.
Damn.
Yeah, and so, yeah, it would have been like, I don't mind about being on TV or not, as in, like, I don't care. But I think we could have got a few more insightful interviews with some people on ground had I been just a bit better prepared. But
I guess it's been a learning curve for everyone involved with them now doing it off, like, not everyone there and stuff. It's also probably quite a bit of adjustment for them.
Yeah, for sure. And I think now if I did it again, I would really understand it a lot better. I'd be like, okay, almost start of the week, go through the list. Okay, these people might be interesting. Let's see if they're here.
Yeah.
All right. Can I speak to you midway through the swim? Cool. Come up to transition or had a bit of a plan in place. Which obviously we know that now and can do a better job of that if I ever do another opportunity of doing them. But also it was well, you saw the post race interviews that I did with Taylor Knibb, Jess Fulliger, and Imogen.
You had to start off with the hardest interviewer person that you can have. No, she's notorious for this.
Yeah, I said I need a PhD in interviewing before I can interview Taylor Knibb again. But also, I was prepared for that scenario. I know she doesn't like simple questions, so I had a few things on my mind that I wanted to ask, but I got flustered. I got a bit rattled because, again, at the finish line, there was no one really there. So people were looking at me to make decisions. Like the cameraman's like, okay, where do you want to set up the cameras?
Oh,
I'm like, for these interviews, I'm like, fuck, I don't know. Like fuck, where? You tell me. And then I've got the producer or the director, I don't know what they are. I think director maybe, in my ear saying, cool, you've got, so what people don't understand as well is, like, you're to a timeline to the second, absolute second.
Yeah.
Not so much when the race is going to finish, because they don't know that for sure. But the broadcast or the live feed finishes, for example, at 5:29 and 30 seconds, regardless. The feed will go dead. So you have to fit everything in to that. So they're always working out, okay, first, second, and third, the gap's this much. We've got this much time left. We have to cut up some highlights. They have to show highlights before they wrap up the show. So then they're trying to adjust how much highlights they're going to show. And then in the meantime, they're trying to figure out how long, because they obviously want to speak to the top three.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out, okay, how much time do we have with that? And then they're also, if there's a big gap between someone in the top three finishing, they go, right, get first place in, do 2 or 30 minutes with them, and then throw it back to the commentators. That will then call second place across the line, et cetera, et cetera. And like, the plans change, and I get, like, live TV, you got to think on your feet, you got to think fast, like, things will change, you got to be ready to go. At a minute's notice, less than a minute's notice, 10 seconds notice, bang, you're on. Which it almost kind of, to me, it felt like that. To an experienced reporter doing this all the time, it would have been water off a duck's back and being like, yep, we're straight into it. Whereas for me, it was like, all of a sudden, they're like, yep, down to you now. And then there was a floor manager or someone like that. He's like, right, 5, 4. And I'm like, fuck. What am I going to say? Shit. And then they threw like 2, 1. And I'm like, Taylor Knibb. Oh, great. Back doing Taylor Knibb thing. So tell us about that swim. And I'm like, as soon as I said it, I'm like, oh, that's just like such a simple question. She kind of just looked at me and she's like, the swim.
What the hell?
I'm like, oh, God. Anyone else would be like, oh, yeah, it was a challenging swim. But, like, it's good to have something new on the course and something different, even though I found it challenging, but I think it's good to blah, 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 blah. Like, you'd rattle off anything
and
from
then
that.
She, like, turns her back towards the camera and looks at the ocean as well.
And then I've got, I end up taking my earpiece out because I was like, I just can't deal right now. After this, because I've got them whilst I'm trying to think of what to say to, like, turn this interview around. And he's like, you need to turn around, needs to face the camera. I was like, fuck. So anyway, that was thankfully Jess and Imogen went a lot
It was a
smoother.
lot
And
easier, yeah.
in the end, Taylor was fine. I think I got a question where she, I think she kind of enjoyed, so she could actually talk a bit more.
Yeah. Then she talked actually quite long on one of the questions.
Yeah. But then you've also got like, you got the person behind you, like, hey, wrap it up. He's like,
Yeah.
like doing like you starts like quite slow, like, oh yeah, like time to move on a bit, and then like it keeps going, and you're like,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
so.
I hope they paid you enough, Aaron. It seemed like a stressful job.
It's not stressful. I do get paid to do it, but it's not. Sorry, it there was it was a bit stressful, but it shouldn't be stressful. And now that I know what to expect, I think it would be far less stressful, and I can feel far more prepared next time, if there is a next time, to do it. But I had fun nonetheless. It was a good event, I think. I think it looked quite good.
No, it was. I think so, yeah. It's a cool one in the Gold Coast. And I heard also from people doing like the age group race and the 10K and stuff that it was really good.
Yeah. And because I didn't get to see a lot of it on TV, did it like at least through the transition area look like there was some decent crowds?
Yeah, definitely. It looked like there was quite a few people for sure. Like I also had to do, because this was the day before my race, so you know how it gets busy that day, so I definitely didn't watch the whole thing. But I watched quite a fair bit of it, and it looked good on TV. Yeah, it's still like the bike gets a bit boring, doesn't it? But it always is, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard unless you make it like, well, I would say San Francisco, but then probably for the people watching, it's still a bit boring. It's just less boring for us, maybe the athletes, but watching it might still be the same.
But well, that's another advocation for making the bike shorter.
And drafting, I think, as well. Draft legal, or at least like 12 meters or less.
Yeah. Right. So instead of Effortless swim goggles, as people know, they are a partner of the podcast. We've banged on about it for a little bit over the last couple of weeks, saying how good they are. I thought we actually got a voice note from Parker Kurth, so that's his name.
Yeah.
Explaining, or just sort of a testimonial. So I'll play that now.
Cool.
Hey guys, this is Parker. Not a question, but rather a comment. I actually just got the new Effortless swimming goggles. Same color actually as Jalong. I got the purple ones. Just wanted somewhat of a clear lens, but also a little bit of a tint. Swam with them today and felt great. Well, I didn't feel great in the water. I'm not really a good swimmer, but they didn't leak and they didn't fog. So at least the goggles felt good. Anyway, good luck with your training, Jelle, for Texas, and excited to see you there. And yeah, that's it. Big fan of the goggles. Thanks for the recommendation.
I don't know if you could hear that in the end, but was he flushing the toilet? Was he voice noting us?
He did that voice note while dropping a deuce. That's my guy.
Thanks, Parker. He is not a paid actor. He's not paid to say that. He is just a happy customer of Effortless swim goggles. And we've also had quite a few people comment the same thing, that have got theirs and used them in the first couple of swims and realized how comfortable they are. And also people that have got them before we partnered with them and months ago that are saying that they are still very good anti-fog. So
yeah, he's not a paid actor, but I'll get you a coffee in Texas for this voice note.
You will. But if you don't trust us, trust Parker. Trust the other people that are saying the same thing. Head on to Effortless swim goggles and get yourself a pair with the discount code ALLINTRIATHLON15 for 15% off. What else have we got to talk about, Jelle? Tommy Rodriguez.
Indeed.
You firstly brought it to my attention, and then because I'm the retired athlete, I can actually
do stuff, say stuff.
Stuff.
But people who don't know, Thomas Rodriguez got tested positive on some supplement. I don't even remember what 3 years ago now?
Or less than, I think.
Less. And his ban is, I think, stopping soon. And he made a reel where he was still showing footage from his Texas win, that he doesn't have the win anymore because he tested positive, I think, in that race even. But he still, makes it seems as if like, he won that race and he's proud of it and doesn't show any remorse of what he's doing. So that does not look good for this guy coming back into the sport, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's he said something like it was the footage of Texas, but then he said, "Who are the last 5 Ironman winners?" And then listed the 5. And then he said, "What about Tommy Rodriguez 2024, which is the year he got done for drugs?" And it's obviously a made-up video, and it's a ChatGPT reply say in another life. So he's and then I just reposted it and said something along the lines of, "In another life where performance-enhancing drugs are okay, maybe." Just kind of like a bit of a fuck you. I don't like what pisses me off a little bit is he's just got no remorse. He's like,
Yeah, indeed.
he knows he did wrong, and it's like, fuck it, I don't care, and I'm coming back, and just deal with it type thing. Where Colin wants the attention, and I'm giving him some now. So it goes against a little bit of what I'm going to say. Like, I don't think pros should engage in that. But with Tommy, he doesn't really want attention. I think he just wants to come back, and I think the more people don't welcome him back with open arms, I think the better.
No, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Seems a bit crazy, all of this. The guy has just been this is not the only really story or like reel he put up, right? I think there was some before as well where like you can just see like he has like no remorse at all.
And that's like I said, what pisses me off the most. I can I think I'm quite a forgiving person. I think I can forgive. I don't necessarily think he should be back so soon or at all. But if someone comes out and says, "Look, I fucked up. I was desperate. I was trying to be better. I did the wrong thing. I apologize. Please forgive me." I think in time, a lot of people will.
Yeah.
But when you kind of just throw it back into their face and kind of like, "Oh, the only reason I'm not world champion is because I got caught for doing drugs. If you didn't catch me, I would have been world champ." It's like, fuck off. Get out of here. That's my rant. I don't know whether you had any more to add to that, but
no, not really. It just it's frustrating, isn't it? But if he comes to any of the start lines, I will be there. I won't shake him any hand or ignore him. Obviously, of course, like this guy is the worst. No, like because of all the stuff we just said before. Like doesn't show any remorse, which it just he's gonna still keep doing the same.
Shall we finish off with a couple of questions?
Sounds good. Let's go for it.
We got some. Well, what are we at? We're at 53 minutes. All right. We'll just do 2 questions.
Sounds good.
I think I did listen to all of them. Hopefully, I'll play the right ones. I think they're supposed to be about Geelong. So,
okay,
you can answer them.
Let's go.
Hallo Aaron en hallo aan Stan, de drievoudig wereldkampioen. My question for Jelle in my very dodgy Dutch is: heb je tijdens de hele reis maar een liedje in je hoofd? That was inspired by Matty Hauser talking about how Dracula by Tame Impala was on his mind the whole race in the World Champs. So thank you.
Yeah, good Dutch. Has a bit of a dialect, some hair on it, but it was good. I could understand.
Well, I couldn't, so please explain it.
Oh, he just asked like if there is a song that I had in my head during the race. No, like literally no. Sometimes I do probably have like, it's not a full song. It's maybe more like 2 sentences of a song that I like repeat in my head all the time. But I felt like this race was too much like on the whole time to really be like zoned out and like think about a song or like sing a song in my head. Like I was just focused on the race and in the moment the whole time. Too much, I reckon.
Do you listen to music much during training?
Yeah, more and more since I'm training more alone. Like I would put music on during bike sessions, sometimes run sessions, but there would be more like doom 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 music,
You're just like
just to get in like the vibe
you're
a
like
bit.
Tomorrowland 6 hours straight.
Yes, indeed.
Pretty much.
Yeah, Bots Auto Mix.
Or Average
Flemish.
Rob.
Average Rob. Yeah, he would have some good ones. Like indeed, his like playlist probably.
All right. Well, I can see we've got a few more, but I'm just randomly going to choose one, so I don't actually know what's coming.
Dangerous.
That is dangerous. Zach F says,
Hey guys, loving the podcast. Quick one. I was watching Geelong on the weekend and sort of quick go Jelle as he ran past, but thought it'd be an interesting one to ask if there's any sort of encouragement or words that Jelle prefers to hear on the course. Does he like go and affirmations, or does he prefer looking good or people in front of looking bad? Thanks.
well, firstly, I can say what it is you like the most.
What is it?
All in triathlon.
Actually, one guy was saying, "Go Jelle, go all in, go all in." That was good. That was cool. Actually, I like that. In the end, not really. Like, of course, I like it when people say I look good. But no, it's just actually really cool to. And we had this I had this in Geelong. Like a lot of people were shouting my name and were like cheering for me, and that's already like really cool, and like it motivates you and keeps you going in the hard moments. But there's not really anything that I really prefer. Like in the end, like I'll do like gaps and stuff, but there's enough people on course that say that, and like for example starting the run, like it was or like good to know that I was closing in a little bit on Hayden. People forgot to tell me the gap to Christian though. I know he was coming back, but I could see that easily. So that's sometimes definitely good. But then people would also do it when you're just dropped, and then they say like, "Oh, you're 10 seconds ahead only. Come on, catch him." And like, well, I just got dropped, you know.
Yeah.
So then it gets a bit annoying as well. But in the end, it's really cool just hearing all the people cheering, and people coming to me after the race as well, talking about like how they like the podcast, and it's really cool seeing like we definitely have some listeners, Aaron, because there are a fair few came, and even after the race, like I went to get my bike, and they're like, "Oh, are you gonna do a podcast?" I'm like, "Well, we already did one. It's out in an hour or whatever." They're like, "What? Really?"
So it's not just Rudy and Nicole listening.
No. We also have Non and Kate and a few others, a handful of others, hopefully.
Yeah.
Parker,
Kurth, yes. I always found it really depended on how the race was going. And you've been going pretty well, like as in pretty much good for the last little while. So you're probably in the groove of enjoying being cheered at. But sometimes when you're having a bad day, I just want to just crawl into a hole and no one notice you out on course.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's nice of you. It's nice of the people to still cheer, but most of the time you just want to be invisible. If you're having a really bad day, you're just like, oh my God, just pretend that I'm not on course. But
no, for sure, definitely, I agree. Yeah. But no, in the end, like even on the bad days, like you should be. Yeah, like it's sometimes easy to think like, just don't say anything, but it's still nice that people still cheer for you even though you have a bad day.
Yeah, 100%. One last thing I will say is if you're going to give time gaps, it has to be accurate. If it's not, don't say anything, because you may think, it's about 47 seconds. No, it has to be freaking 47 seconds or don't say anything, because the guide before you, about 100 meters down the road, said 45 seconds and you're now telling me it's 47. So I was like, shit, I'm losing time where you thought it was going the other way. So a couple of seconds actually matters. Make sure
you have
it's
this
right.
Sometimes. No, one guy would say 40 and then the next guy says like 100 meters further, 50 seconds. I'm like, what? This doesn't see. Who's right? I need to know.
Yeah. So if you're giving out time splits, make it accurate, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
Right, let's wrap it up there. We have a threshold swim to get to, and then you're back on the horse. How many weeks till Vegas, Texas?
3 weeks and 3 days.
Shit.
It's going to
That
be
is
that
coming.
quick. Yeah.
That is coming
Panic
around
training
quick.
starting tomorrow.
Damn. Well, good luck with that. We will, we'll try and keep on going up until Texas unless the Ironman training really
definitely.
fogs your brain. Well, we're going to keep them up till Texas, but we never want to over promise. It's under promise, over deliver.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. All of the discount codes will be in the show notes, and we will see you next week.